I've just left the signing ceremony of a very, very interesting G20YEA conference here in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Over the past 2 days, we discussed, debated, and heard about a series of extremely interesting topics. We started off yesterday morning with a welcome address from the Argentine B20 chair and the Argentinian B20 Sherpa, who gave us their opening address and thoughts on both the roles and responsibilities of the G20 towards the world and the important input that we, as the G20 young entrepreneurs, can give to the policy that they're helping governments to shape both nationally and internationally. We then witnessed a very interesting keynote address by an Argentine serial entrepreneur who talked to us about the phenomenal impact that technology is having on our world and our future, with a specific focus on blockchain. In the afternoon of yesterday, we had a session with Accenture, which is the G20YEA knowledge partner, which centered around figuring out which skills are important for the workforce to learn within our companies and also in general globally to future-proof them for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, as research shows that if workforce does not evolve, we risk losing almost $12 billion of GDP growth. Finally, last night, we were fortunate enough to attend a cocktail reception hosted by the CEO and founder of Qtum. I had never heard of Qtum before, but Qtum is a Chinese success story. He started, Patrick Dai, who's the founder, started it on his own 5 years ago, and he recently fundraised at an $8 billion valuation. So it was really humbling and an honor to get to meet him and talk to him about how he managed to achieve what he did. Today, we had another very interesting series of sessions. We started off with a keynote by a young Argentine entrepreneur. She's only 20 years old, with a stage presence that a 40-year-old would dream of. And she talked to us about how at just 20, she's managed to launch several successful businesses. We then had a series of very engaging conversations on how to incentivize SMEs to grow internationally, how to support this growth both domestically and internationally, the taxation systems, so smart taxation systems, which can be deployed to enable SMEs to grow successfully. And we then followed this with a series of breakout sessions. The one that I attended was a sneak peek of what we will be doing in Japan next year, a gamified version of an analysis for how entrepreneurial choices can impact society and their businesses. After this, we then attended the traditional signing ceremony where the presidents of all the G20YEA delegations signed the final communique that we had been voting on and shaping throughout the course of the summit, which will then be handed to the B20 and will have a significant input in some of their policy-making decisions. It's been a fantastic trip, not just for the conference these 2 days, but also for all the fantastic things we did as part of the Italian delegation over the past 3 days. Buenos Aires is a beautiful city. Argentina is a fantastic country with huge potential. I'm very glad to have come here this year, and I am very much looking forward to next year's G20YEA, which will take place in May in Japan.